Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for Taroscopes again. We're going to be doing Taroscopes to the sign of Leo. That's Leo Sun, Leo Moon, Leo Rising for the month of September 2025. Before I get started, I want to welcome my new subscribers. Welcome to this wonderful community of like-minded souls. I think you're going to like it here, and I think you're going to recognize people from other channels as well. We're quite the family here on YouTube. For those of you who have been with me for years, my tried and true, thank you so much for your continued support. It does mean the world to me. Um, and to my Patreon, who have also spent years with me, thank you so much for the opportunity to share what I know. And you give me more opportunity to share. And welcome to the members, my new members on my channel. Thank you so much. There's a lot of videos on the membership. You can look at many different people that I've done, political figures, people, celebrities. I don't do too many celebrities, but they're in there. Different astrological, important astrological happenings. You can check those all out on the channel. There is more to come. I've been a little remiss in getting new stuff out to you, to my members, but that is coming in September for sure. I've just been very busy with readings and classes. But now that the fall is here, I'll have some more time to put some more good information out there for y'all. All right, so we're going to look at Leo. Uh, we're going to look at the astrology of September and then how specifically it affects Leo. And then we're going to do card reading using the Illuminati deck. I will say, if you're not interested in the astrology, you can, I do timestamp it, so you can look below, see the timestamp for the reading. You can go right to that if you prefer the tarot to the astrology. All right, so let's get started here. I'm going to share my screen. And we're going to start with the astrology. We will get back to Leo. There's Leo for this month, but we'll get back. All right, so we're in September. September is the 9th month. We're in a 9 universal year vibration. So when you add those two vibrations together, we get an 18. So the two vibrations we're dealing with this month is the 9 and the 18. Of course, the 18 is also a 9. And so there's a lot of sense of things wrapping up this month. There's also a lot of revelations this month. We have some eclipses happening. We have a full moon eclipse in Pisces, and then a new moon eclipse in Virgo, in the last degree of Virgo. We've actually already had a new moon in Virgo. We had the new moon in Virgo back on the 23rd, 22nd, 23rd, depending on where you lived, of August. And now in September, we're having that second new moon. A lot of discernment is necessary at this time because of that. We have Saturn moving back into Pisces. It's been in Aries now since I think it went into Aries in April. It's been very active in Aries, even as it was moving backwards. A lot of new idea, a lot of new things coming in. Um, new structures, really, intimations of the future. And yet we're not quite done with the past because now Saturn is back into Pisces. It'll be there until February, I think the beginning of February. And it is part of cleaning up the sort of the karmic closets of that journey of Saturn through Pisces, but also the journey of Saturn through the whole zodiac. It went into Aries in the 90s, and that's going to go back into Aries in the 2020s, 2026. Of course, it's been in Aries now, but it's just a little taste. So it's gonna go back into Pisces, finish up its journey through Pisces, finish up its journey through the zodiac. So things that started in the 90s may come to a head or come to our attention. And like any time we're dealing with a 9 vibration, we evaluate it. Do we want to bring it into the next cycle or not? On the 2nd, Mercury moves into Virgo, and it is challenged by Saturn. That's right before it goes into Virgo, challenged by Neptune, Pluto, and Uranus. So when a planet moves into the first degrees of a sign, any planet, sun, moon, um, faster moving planets, slower moving planets, it gets activated by the 3 transpersonal planets in Saturn, requiring us to make adjustments. In the case of Mercury and Virgo, adjustments in the way we think about things. On the 4th, we have a Mars square Jupiter, first quarter square, crisis in action. Mars is in Libra. Jupiter is in Cancer, so that action can be humanitarian. There can be some sort of humanitarian emergency that we need to respond to. On the 6th, Uranus stations retrograde, one of those transpersonal planets. When they turn around or seem like they're turning around, they're actually not. It's from our perspective. In a way, we're turning around. Usually creates some sort of event, a crisis event. It says spiritual blessings here as the Sabian symbol. So we have to remember that no matter what's going on, we are blessed, and we have both spiritual blessings, and we both have power, maybe not to change what happens, but to respond to it in a way that uh, moves us in a more positive direction, I want to say. On the 7th, we have that first eclipse, the full moon eclipse at 16 of Pisces, finding grace and stillness. It's going to be, finding stillness is going to be a grace, I think. But yeah, still a lot of chaos, still a lot of confusion. Remember, everything is sort of getting thrown up in the air to see what it is that is worth keeping and what is it that we just need to brush away out of our lives. On the 12th, the Sun and Mercury both make a sextile to Jupiter, and then the next day they conjoin, Sun and Mercury. It's a superior conjunction. So the information we need is right in front of our face, and we can take that information and we can spread it because that Sun Mercury is still in a sextile to Jupiter. Jupiter expands things. The sextile, this type of sextile is a waxing sextile. So it's about opening the lines of communication and gathering information. So there's a lot of information coming out. And we would expect that in a September vibration kind of time, because September is really about learning and analyzing the facts, and you can't analyze unless you have the facts. So we're going to get a lot of facts this month. Facts, F-A-C-T-S, and perhaps facts, F-A-X as well. Facts full of facts, perhaps. Okay. On the 15th, Venus makes a sextile to Mars. This is part of a 2-year cycle of Venus and Mars. And this is the point where we have progressive, moving in a progressive direction. Our relationships with friends and groups and associations that will work together to make the world a better and fairer place. That is the energy of this sextile. So let's utilize that because we certainly need all of that. On the 17th, Mercury opposes Saturn. Of course, Mercury is in the last degree of Virgo, Saturn in the last degree of Pisces. This activates that axis of Virgo Pisces again, with Mercury opposing the Sun. Then Mercury moves into Libra. It has to go through the gauntlet of those transpersonal planets because it just entered a sign. But Libra, the air signs are much easier in a way than on a planet. So when a planet moves into air, there's more flow. Where we do have an inconjunct to Saturn. No, I'm sorry, that's Venus. We do have an opposition to Saturn and Neptune, but we have trines from Uranus and we have trines from Pluto. So we have this grand trine in air. That's a lot of power. It is um, just very activated. Mercury moving into Libra creates another kite. It's the same kite that when Mars went into Libra, was that in, I think that was in July, and activated the transpersonal. Same thing's going to happen as Mercury moves into Libra. On the 19th, we have Venus moving into Virgo. That's a little tough on Venus because she has to go through a challenging gauntlet with an in conjunct to Neptune, a square from Uranus, and an in conjunct to Pluto. So Venus is in the crosshairs of a yod and getting squared by Uranus, just like it happens with the new moon back in in August. September 21st, we have the new moon solar eclipse. It is opposite Saturn in Pisces. This is another reality check. Faith in oneself is required to trust the inner voice of truth. The inner voice of truth is the Hermit card, it's the inner voice of truth. It comes through deep introspection. So don't forget, it's okay to watch what's going on in the outer world, but it's all there to serve you to find out what is going on in the inner world. It is an eclipse, and eclipses change things on a global level. So we'll see some global changes. On the 22nd, Mars ingresses into Scorpio as the sun moves into Libra. That is the equinox. That's the balance day. That's when night and day are equal. That's when you can pull out your eggs and balance them, in your hand or on your table. They have to be raw eggs, not not hard boiled, okay? If you want to do that little trick. It's a fun trick to do. You can do it twice a year, and it really does connect you with the idea of being at a balance point. And then you can make a nice omelet, or you can make a nice Turkish eggs like my husband makes for me, probably 2 or 3 times a week. I'm addicted. Recipes to come. All right. On the 23rd, we have the sun opposing Neptune. We also have Mars challenged by an inconjunct to Neptune. We do have a trine of the sun to Uranus, so brings in a lot of change. And then on the 24th, we have a trine to the sun to Pluto, but Mars is struggling with an inconjunct to Uranus and a last quarter square to Pluto. The end of the month is very challenging, and so I think it's going to be actions taken on all the illuminations that come through the month of September. We'll see what that means. To actually say what that's going to be, I don't think I can say, because when you're dealing with the transpersonal planets, very often you just have to be an observer. There's really nothing you can do but observe and evaluate from your inner perspective. All right, we can see the moon is the card of the month here. We have the moon over here, and here's Leo. Looks a little like Jon Snow, eh? Pick that one. Leo is fixed fire. The sun is the ruler, and the mantra is I will. So what will you do, Leo, this month? Well, Venus and Mercury start in your first house, but then quickly move into the second house. Second house is the house of resources. That is where you've had both new moons, right? The new moon at 1 degree of last month in Virgo, that happened last month, and then this eclipse degree at the 30th degree of Virgo. Also, with the South Node there, this is a release point, and so for Leo rising, perhaps it's about releasing any sense that you're not good enough or that you're not perfect enough. Nobody's perfect. We're learning that. Not even God. We're all evolving together. The full moon is happening in the 8th house. So the moons, the eclipses are happening in your house of values, money, shared resources. So there could be some upsetment around that, or some illumination around that about sharing resources. This could be a tax thing, so you want to make sure that you, with all this Virgo energy, you finally get down to figuring out, what you owe, who owes you, what owes you, and all that stuff. Get your finances together as best as you can through this period. I think it's going to make a huge difference in how you can face 2026. The sun in starting the month in Virgo and then moving into the third house once it moves into Libra. The focus is your resources in the second house and your relationships to those who are closest to you distance-wise, your neighbors, or closest to you familial-wise, your family, your siblings, cousins too. I always put cousins into this house. I know in my growing up years, my cousins were as important as my mother and father in the experiences, developing experiences of my childhood. So some of your best times are spent with cousins, right? Um, so reach out to a cousin. I have a couple cousins I want to reach out to in September. I am a Leo rising, so this does apply to me. Mars is in your house of the third house. There can be some kerfuffles with neighbors, or you could be working together with neighbors to sort of bring a certain amount of stability to the neighborhood. And then we have Mars moving into your fourth house in Scorpio. There could be some issues with plumbing, so just be aware of that. Maybe, you have a septic or you have a leak or something. You want to definitely get that taken care of so it doesn't become something bigger. But having Mars and Scorpio in that fourth house is a real good time to do some renovations. In fact, we have a bathroom that needs to be renovated, so I think maybe I'll put that on the list of things to do. Um, Maybe the perfect time for things to do for me anyway. Pluto in the seventh house, going to be there now for the next 18 years or so. So we'll have plenty of experiences around issues of power and those people who empower us and those people who take power away from us, reevaluating our relationships and our friendships. Actually, Aquarius is a lot of people who have Leo rising will tend to have relationships with people that their intimate relationships or their in marriage and the like, or their business relationships are with people who have to have the same sort of worldview as they do. Um, I know it's true of me. Okay. Some people can be with people who have a completely different worldview and think differently and vote differently and all of that stuff. But the Leo rising, not so much. Saturn flips back into that eighth house there, and it's going to be there for 4 months. This is another indication of getting your tax stuff all taken care of. And then when it's time to move forward in February of next year, January, February of next year, you'll be a little bit clearer and have a better perspective. And then Saturn's going to go in the house of justice. So you want to make sure everything is a-okay with that. You have Neptune up there in the ninth house of truth. Um, it's going to be there for a while. It's still there all month. And so getting down to the truth of a situation is important to you at this time. Uranus stationing retrograde in your 11th house. It just dipped into your 11th house. A lot of exciting new groups, relationships, networks that you've been introduced to. Now it's time. You're still going to have it in the ninth house. There's still more of that for you. And then once it goes back into Taurus for the last few months until April, and then move back into 11th house, you'll have more opportunities for networking. But either way, Saturn in the 10th house, or Uranus in the 10th house, or Uranus in the 11th house, you're definitely going to be seen for your unique ideas. And then we have Jupiter here sitting in the 12th house. Jupiter moving through the 12th house is like a bomb. Your guides and angels are very close. So if you need any help, it's the best place to get it. Best place to get it. A lot of your energy at this time, now that the sun has moved out of your sign, is a reevaluation of what's important to you and a reevaluation of just your very local area. It's going to be an interesting month, I think, for everybody. Um, let's take a look at the cards. We're going to use the Illuminati deck, which is I often use for Leo because it's just like all beautiful and gilded and stuff. All right. All right, let's see what we have here. Oops, excuse me. My iced coffee for the morning. I liked it. It was so cold this morning. I had to wrap it in a napkin so I could hold it. All right. What does Leo need to know for the month of September? Whoops, oops, oops, oops. These two fell out. The end of the burden, perhaps. We'll see. Okay, we start with the Eight of Cups. So the Eight of Cups is about turning your back on something that you've put a lot of effort into, but is no longer spiritually fulfilling. So there's a project that you're likely to abandon this month. Let's see what challenges that. Rest. This is about finding the space and time to rest. The reason that you're moving away from this is it's been too all encompassing and has not been good for your health. So whatever relationship or project that has been draining you, um, you just don't have the energy right now. Let's see if you do really need to step away from it. But that's what you want. You feel like, I think I'm done with this. I'm exhausted. I can't put energy in this direction anymore. We have the Ten of Cups as the root. So you may be rethinking your responsibilities to a dream that you had. What really makes you happy? Okay, let's see what's in the past. This is yes, I'm not sure any of these people are watching me, but there are people that are disillusioned with a dream that they had, and they're seeing things maybe for the first time as to what's really happening. In the past, we have the Five of Wands, so there's been some um, maybe creative differences that you've had, some fighting. The Five of Wands is a little bit more like play fighting. It's the Five of Swords when you're dealing with, like, you can still get hurt, like if you get hit in the head with a wand. This kind of reminds me of January 6th when they were using the flagpoles, right, to beat cops. If they had been using swords, it would have been different, right? All right, let's see what's in the sky. Oh, a new beginning. So there is new beginnings available, a whole new path, a whole new path. Okay. A realization of a sort. Let's see in the immediate future. Um, we have the King of Cups, having dominion over your feelings. I like this. This could also be um, this could also be uh, I want to say an accountant, but um, somebody who's um, you ask for help, right? This is somebody who's going to help you to organize your something. Could be a therapist. I guess it depends on where the disorganization is as to who this person might be. But they do help you to get a handle on things. Get a handle on things. How it's seen from the outside that you are in charge of your life, that you are a leader in your life. Okay, so you're seen well. You're seen well. Your domestic situation, okay, temperance. So this is balance. So this is an energy of balance and healing. I like this energy because the challenge here was this, right? And so with this coming into the domestic situation, I see healing happening for you and balancing out. It's not going to be easy because the temperance card deals with a trial by fire. Um, it really requires you to just put one foot in front of the other. There's a lot of intensity with the temperance card, but ultimately it is a healing card. Hopes and fears, abuse of power, I would say that's probably a fear that you're not going to be treated fairly. And then we get the Hermit card as the outcome. This is the card of the month, right? This is the card of the year. And this is about you shining your light of wisdom. So I think that's really a great way to end this reading for Leo. Underneath it, we have the King of Pentacles, which is somebody who understands how to manifest. The Ace of Cups, which is happiness, and the Three of Cups, which is celebration and friendship. So ultimately, ultimately, these are really nice cards. I think this is going to be a good um, a good month for you if you can get the help that you need to clear up the things that haven't been clear, to really sort of evaluate where you stand, what makes you happy, and whether or not you want to continue. Because I don't know here, this being the first card up, you're considering moving away from this, but I don't know if you actually do or not. I think that you do finish the job in some way. So let's see what the tree of life oracle says. That will round it up really nice and perhaps answer the questions. But know that there is something new available to you as well. Something sort of like if you've been going a certain way for years and years and years, this is a time where you can go in a new direction. Okay, I'm sorry about it's the lighting in here. I don't have enough lights on. And so when that happens, I get all fuzzy. Not that you have to see me, but it would annoy me. So, although maybe that sort of like fuzziness you don't see, it's like mystical, mystical. The tree of life, map, support, and connection. So we actually get the whole tree. Okay, let me read to you what that means. Oh, there it is. It wasn't under something, but it was a ways away. Okay, here we go. Okay, let me hold this up for you. Lovely, isn't it? Says this card shows the central organizing system of the Kabbalah, the map, if you like, the Sephiroth and the paths that hold one another in place. Take one away and the whole system would crumble. The glyph for the tree of life often feels oddly familiar to those who have never seen it before. It is a geometric shape that holds all there is, was, and will be. This card is bringing the map of your consciousness up for a reason, and as with all maps, it can show you where you've been, where you are, and where you're going, and how to get there. Take some time to consider the position you find yourself in. Ask whether you want to be in it, and which experiences or path will get you there. Be fully present with the choices you make. Um, as is something that is bringing magic, a magic of its own. You cannot take control of your life without it. So be fully present with the choices you make. You really have to get a sense of where you're at, and I think September is going to be that opportunity for you. All right, well, that's the story. Have yourself a great month. I will see you again in October. I am going to be doing a introduction to the Kabbalah and the Tree of Life. It's starting September 11th. If you'd like to join us, you can go to the website www.theseedsoftransformation.com. Go to the events page. It's listed there, and you can register, and you can be part of the fun. All classes are recorded. It is a 6-week class, so you want to commit to 6 weeks on Thursdays, but you don't have to be at all the classes because they do get recorded and you do get them after the class is done. So um, um, it's a real fun experience, and we get some really cool people taking the class, and you'll get to meet some pretty neat folk. Okay, take care. I'll see you next month. Much love. Namaste.